What's up, guys? Adapak here, and today I want to sit down for a few minutes and touch on a subject that I had mentioned kind of in passing on Tuesday's video. And we talked about guild trips and my guilds get together, and I want to sit down and talk to you guys about kind of some of the things that we did, some of the things that didn't work, walk you guys through the planning of this, and kind of in general give you guys the mindset that we had and hopefully that you will have if you were looking to get your guild group together outside of game. So, as I mentioned on Tuesday's video, and I'll say it again here, last weekend my guild got together completely outside of the game. We all met in Washington, D.C. We spent about a day and a half together, and it was the first time for me that I'd ever done something like this. Now, my guild in the past, when I was a normal raider, when I became an officer and a class leader and stuff, the guild leader and the officers and some of the other raiders who were more West Coast did this on an annual basis. And I was always super jealous and really seriously wanted to go. A hell of a lot younger back then as well. But I was unable to do so because of life and work and kids and, whatever. So for me, this guild trip was kind of a milestone. It's that achievement or that mount or that whatever that you've been trying to get, and one day it just drops. And for me, it was this. It was, I'd done the whole raider thing and the raid leading and the guild leading and all those things are well and good, but that was another thing that I can say, my guild, that this one thing that brings us closer together, I've met these guys. And so that was a box I've now been able to check off, and was a hell of a lot of fun. But I want to walk through some things so that you guys can plan and execute properly a meetup and do it safely. So the first piece of advice is you need a single point of contact. You need a person who is pushing this meetup. The concern here is if you say, hey guys, who wants to meet up? Oh, me, and you get a handful of people and then nothing happens. Well, I start to lose interest because I don't know what hotel are we meeting at? What are we doing this? What are we doing that? Whose room, whatever. And it fizzles out. So you need to first and foremost make sure that there is a person that is pushing it and going, okay, guys, here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they need to be on top of things. So with that being said, plan in advance. Don't be the idiot that waits, hey, we all live in, on the East Coast. Who wants to meet up in, California in 2 weeks? Nobody's going to do that. Instead, you need to be making sure that it's 2-3 months in advance. Make sure that people have enough time to handle things. And the reason for this is should be obvious. We met in DC. For me, that was about like a 3.5 hour drive. For some of our other guys, it was a literal plane ticket. It was having to schedule many days off of work to get there, to get back, to, whatever, to get the funds available to buy plane tickets and to even buy, gas, to get gas to come up for some of these guys. They need to be reminded, and they need to make sure that things are handled. Dogs and cats and, kids and whatever are taken care of. So plan it in advance, and that one single person needs to be reminding people. Maybe once a week, hey guys, what's the status on your hotel room? Does anybody need help? Does anybody need to be picked up from the airport? Remember, you need to be pushing. It's not an everyday thing. Not a, hey, we got, 72 days until we meet up. Don't do that because people are going to get annoyed. But, maybe once or twice a week, check on people and make sure everything's okay. Now, with that being said, expect that the number of people that say they're going to go and the number of people that actually show up a day of event are not going to be the same. People are not going to show up for a variety of reasons. They couldn't afford a plane ticket. They couldn't afford gas money. They couldn't get time off. Something came up outside of, WoW or outside of the guild, that they need to handle, or simply they lost interest. Or, it could be any number of things. But people aren't going to show up. People are going to be late. People, whatever. People are going to have to leave early. Expect that. So when you actually do the meetup, meet in public. Pick a place that you can meet up that is in public. Now, it might sound silly. My boss told me, she pulled me aside, a few days before this event because I did, I told him I was taking a day off and, whatever, and kind of let everybody know, here's what I'm doing. She said, hey, these guys, are you sure that this is safe? There's no crazy people that are going to murder you, right? And she was serious about it. Like, all jokes aside, and, I've given her shit about it, both before and especially after the fact. But make sure you meet in public because some people are going to be concerned about you in real life. You want to make this a very safe, a very fun, and a very comfortable trip. And it can go amazingly well, and you can most definitely strengthen the bond within your guild, or you can kind of creep people out. So meet in a public place, agree on something. Now, obviously, you're going to have to share some type of contact information. Now, for me and my guild, I have a good chunk of my raiders' phone numbers. And it's not uncommon at all for them to text me text them, me call them, they call me, and we talk about stuff. And, get a text that says, hey, I'm going to be late, or hey, dude, what's up? What's going on? But meet in public and realize that people are different, and that's, especially as a raid leader and guild leader, you will see this. People have different mindsets, but the person that you see in game may not be the same person that you see outside, in real life. People are going to be different. People are going to be completely different from what you expected. I'll be completely honest. I'll pick on the guys. My 2 officers, I had no clue what they looked like. And, when I first saw them, I was like, oh, that's them, no doubt about it. But, their mannerisms and the way that the guys, handled themselves and we talked about stuff were completely different a little bit from the way that we are within the raid. And there's a certain dynamic and whatnot, and we'll get to that here in a second. But people are going to be different mindsets, religions, things they do and don't want to do, are willing to do, etc. Remember that. Now, have plans. Do not go into a guild trip and have zero plans. Just say, meet up and we'll wing it as we go along. No, don't do that. Preferably, you want to have someone in that area. For example, with our guild, DC, we had 3 guys that lived in that area. So they knew restaurants and they knew places to go and, things that would be super convenient to hit up now or check out later. We had things to do. Make sure you guys are communicating. Talk about things. Again, and this harkens back to people just being different. I may not like something that you like. If there's a suggestion for a restaurant and you go, I'm totally down for it. Well, you may not be. You may not be at all interested for any number of reasons in doing something. So communicate. Say, hey guys, that's not really my thing. I'm not really down with that. And talk about stuff. But talk about things outside of the game. Talk about life. Talk about boyfriends and girlfriends and houses and whatever interests you, and get to learn people. Get to know them. Do not go through all this effort, these months of planning and whatnot, and then meet up in a hotel room. Hey guys, what's up? Let's go get food. And then you play the game on your laptops all weekend. Don't do something like that. Get out and do stuff outside of World of Warcraft or whatever game you guys may be playing. Do it. That's what's going to strengthen the bond and make memories and all that good stuff. Be safe when you're doing things. Be willing, regardless of whether you're the new guy or you are the guild leader, etc. Be willing to take a step back and check on people. Hey man, you okay? Is anything like, you good? Like, if you, especially if you're doing something, I'll say adult in nature. And for example, my guild, we went drinking. Like, we went and played pool and we drank. And for some of us, like me, I don't drink a lot. I have nothing against it. I just have a kid and I don't get a decent amount of time to do something like that. So isn't a terrible idea to check on people and go, hey man, you good? Like, do you need to do this or do that? Or do you need any help with anything? You good with your hotel room? Like, are you uncomfortable at this place? Again, people are different. And remember that you aren't a raider. You aren't the raid leader. You aren't a guild leader. You aren't, when I showed up and my guys were all around me, I wasn't automatically in charge because we're not raiding. It wasn't in game. It was us conversing and figuring out what we all wanted to do. Not me going, nope, we're going to this restaurant and then we're going to go do this activity. No, take a step back. I'm not in charge. You're not in charge. Figure out what's going on like normal people. And while probably not the most important aspect of it, make sure you guys have fun. Be safe, but have fun. Remember that this is maybe for some of you, a once in a lifetime deal. It may be the first time, in my case, the first time. I've been looking forward to this thing for 10 years. And to be able to do this with a group of people that I've met and played a video game with and then hung out for a day and a half and we drank and we played pool and we ate a ton of food and, we made stupid jokes and, did silly shit. And like, these guys are more than just raiders to me now. They are people that I know. These are friends of mine. And that's what you're going for, is that bond where it's not just, this guy's a raider. That's a friend of mine now. I have his phone number and I've been in his house and, we've eaten dinner together, whatever. That's the difference. And it can truly strengthen your bond within your guild. Be safe, have fun, plan in advance, and talk to each other. With all that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Both those things encourage me a whole hell of a lot more than you guys understand to continue to make content like this. If you do not like this video, hit that thumbs down button. That's cool. But let me know in the comment section below, either way, what you did or did not like about this video so I can improve for you guys. And until next time, I'll see ya.